The mood was sober at the International Transport Forum in Leipzig, Germany. Leaders from government, business, academia and civil society discussed the sector's grim condition following the economic downturn.
The transport industry is being affected worse than many other industries. The figures we are presenting here show that global production is down 2 or 3%, global trade by say 10%, but transport in many markets down by 20 and 30 and 40%. So transport has been very seriously impacted, especially the freight sector.
Road freight activity slumped up to 50%, bankruptcies doubled, and unemployment in the sector skyrocketed, with 120,000 job losses in the former Soviet Union, 140,000 in Europe, and over 200,000 layoffs in North America. Adding to the woes, a growing concern by the industry about protectionism. The consensus at the International Transport Forum in Leipzig is that, despite their best efforts, the G20 has largely been unable to thwart protectionist measures. Industry leaders here are calling on governments to improve trade and road transport facilitation, effectively driving the economic recovery.
It is absolutely necessary that the government, as mentioned by the G20 leader statement, help the road transport to ensure a quicker recovery of the economy. Because if the trucks are stopping, the trade is stopping. If the trade is stopping, everything is stopping. Because we are not bankers, we are in the real economy.
And this is what the real economy looks like. Trucks queuing at international borders, sitting idle, waiting to deliver everything from household goods to food and components, to the people, shops and factories that in turn wait too. Many door-to-door goods transport services, which can only be realized by road, are delayed due to increasing bureaucracy, especially on routes entering the European Union.
There was before ex-Soviet Union and alliance with the Iron Curtain. Now we have no Iron Curtain, we have a paper curtain at the border crossing, which is more or less the same.
In countries that are lacking sound facilitation measures, additional costs, official and informal payments such as bribes, can add up to 40 or 50%. The result? Certain goods simply become too expensive and cannot be sold on international markets. The mandate by the UN Economic Commission for Europe is to facilitate international mobility. In 1949, it introduced a system called TIER, aimed at breaking down the barriers that choke up so many borders by customs controlling the loads of trucks only at origin and final destination, with no checks in between.
If countries start to close up, then it will be difficult to get out of the economic crisis. But if liberalization continues and competition continues, in addition to that, there will be more well-targeted, well-selected investments in the transport and other infrastructure sectors. There is a likelihood that countries can get out of the economic crisis strengthened and not weakened.
According to the Hague Consulting Group, $16 billion is lost each year through barriers to road transport in just 5 European countries. One of the international bodies combating this problem is the World Customs Organization.
We should enhance our cooperation with the customs, but at the same time, as our trade partners, business partners are suffering, so we have to enhance customs business partnership as well. And for that, we need the more coordination with other government agencies involved in border regulations. So on those 3 fronts, we would like to use this opportunity. It's a crisis, but we would like to turn it to an opportunity.
To keep the backbone of the global economy moving. After all, it takes 10,000 suppliers to build just one car, and 29 companies from 18 countries to have a single cup of coffee.
In order not to repeat the historical errors of the Great Depression of the 1930s, where the economic crisis was exacerbated by the halt in transport and trade, I urge and call upon governments to introduce real business incentives,
including reducing taxes, providing credit lines, investing in infrastructure, opening markets, and completing the WTO Doha round. Given the dire state of the road transport industry, sooner is better than later.